Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, stock market heaven. Volatility, ladies and gentlemen, is your friend. There's no way around it. Make money for life once you learn the skill of stock market trading. We're going to show you the Candlestick Trading Bible, a little bit of it, because again, you can download it because it is 168 pages. A lot to learn, especially if you do not already have that skill set. I was 5 months in and I only got to 107 page, but I already figured my strategy. But again, welcome. Stop struggling now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for this information, especially when people are losing jobs. Another major corporation has dumped 15,000 jobs gone. Once again, make sure you share the videos. Make sure you let other people know we have information here that can help them, such as findhelp.org. That's right, findhelp.org. If you're in the United States, put in your zip code. You will see a ton of help in most cities and states. Cities and states are going to have more services, more funding from the state government and federal government. In rural areas, there will be less. So, check in your area, American citizens, because there is help. It's just they don't like telling people. Findhelp.org. That's the first place to go. Second place to go. We need your credit to be 775 or higher. December 31st, 2026. You got to get on that train right now immediately. If you can't figure out how to reduce your debt, then you need to email our woman of the hour, Tracy, TRACY.sharpe, SHARPE, at moneyladder.com for everybody on podcast. Make sure you guys hear it again. For everybody that's watching, you guys can have it in the chat room. The link, the email, TRACY.sharpe, SHARPE, at moneyladder.com. And those of you who are able to get to the chat room, you have an advantage because you can actually see a video where she came and explained how she gets people out of debt without filing bankruptcy, without having to go through debt collectors. This is renegotiating. This is part of what the rich guys do when they have loans, when they have money outstanding. They go to the creditors and say, hey, can you extend this for me? Can you do something for me? You don't want me to default, do you? That type of information is what you need to make sure you can improve your credit score. Why does this matter? Because people are losing their jobs. Livable wage jobs are dwindling. You may find yourself where you need to use your credit. And the reason you will use credit is because you're going to have the 0% interest, not just for 1 year, not just for 24 months and 2 years. How about later this year? It's going to be 3 years. And they're going to look for these people that have excellent credit because that would be low risk. That's why you need to clear your debt down so then your credit score will rise. Hopefully, you're here for the ride, ladies and gentlemen. We have a tenant here. We talked about almost 3 years ago, we started doing our countdown. We're down to It's March. We're down to 9 months now, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe that? Just 9 months left after a 3 year countdown when we were telling people get a bank account outside the United States. When we were saying get a real estate outside the United States. You can still do all of this. When we're talking about a real estate or a business outside the United States or both, one or the other or both, you need all three. And you need that credit score to be 775. So I gave you Tracy, all right? And then I'll give you something else that I haven't talked about in a while in the chat room and down below in the description box for everybody on replay. Let's talk about smart credit monitoring because that helps you out as well to improve your credit score because they tell you things such as your FICO 8 score if you want to buy a liability such as a vehicle. It tells you your regular FICO score. It gives you your hiring index scores. So again, that information can be very, very valuable, plus monitoring all three of your credit scores. So please use the link down below in the chat rooms, in the description boxes, wherever you're watching from. It's smartcredit.com/stop struggling now for the promo. Smartcredit.com / as I call it, stop struggling now. That's part of the SSN Nation way, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So, once again, hopefully this has gotten you started on the right track. But we're about to go to some other location right now. Let me add this in right now because remember, we're talking about stock market heaven right now. The Dow Jones dropped 300 points today during this session in the United States. You could have made money on the way down. I expect tomorrow or even after hours, I have not checked, that the stock market will be going back up. Now, I'm not saying you have to be in the stock market 24 hours a day, but as long as you know what the trends are and what's happening and volatility, then you can make money. So if you pay attention, you could say, well, if I know what I'm looking at and I understand how to trade and I understand I have a brokerage account, I have everything all set up and I don't know, well, let's get it straight. I would say there's at least 90% of the population that doesn't know how to trade, right? And there's a reason because it's high risk. Let's just call it what it is. Whenever it comes to people's money, they get emotional. You see on the screen the Candlestick Trading Bible. And in order to get people unemotional, you have to get your mind right. You have to think money management. You have to think you need to have some sort of way to trade that you feel comfortable with. There's a lot of different ways to trade. There's options, there's stocks, there's you can do so many things. There's gold, there's silver, there's precious metals, there's bitcoins or crypto. You can trade so many different things. So now you have to figure out what feels comfortable to you, what trading you might want to do. Some people say swing trading, which means they may start a trade in the morning and it could end. They'll worry about it overnight the next day, or they might do a swing trade throughout the day. Some people like trading candles where the candlestick Bible comes into play and they say, okay, the way I've studied it should go down based on a few factors. Maybe I'm using the 200-day moving average. Maybe I'm going with what was the high over the last daily high, daily low, last hour high, last hour low, and then you figure there's a box in the middle and you start figuring out and there might be a breakout here. There's several. You can do a trend line from the highs to the low. Then you can do another trend line from the low to the highs for the last 4 hours or an hour or whatever you want to do. There's so many different ways to get information that makes you feel comfortable. And guess where that's at? The Candlestick Trading Bible. I know a lot of people don't know how to read. Let's just call it what it is. Sadly, let me pop this up. Sadly, there's an adage, if you want to hide something, put it in a book. It still holds true to this day. All right. So let's get on down and see who's in the house tonight. It looks like We have traders in the house. DIM Pals is here. Thank you so much for being in the house. Very happy to see you. Let me switch this around. Very happy to see you. Very nice to see you. Oh, that's different. I'm learning something new. All right, EDIM pals, welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Very happy to see you once again. Good evening. It starts his tagline: more money, less problems, not more money, more problems. Stay motivated. Very well said. More money, more problems is usually the situation, but how about more money, less problems? You know, speaking of that, this brings me up to the more money, more problems, because some people like to flaunt their money and be on social media and be out there. Look at me. I myself, I like to be incognito. Nobody knows except who needs to know, right? Just putting it plain and simple. More money, less problems. That's how you got to keep it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go. DIM Pals, very happy to see you once again. EV Place, another investors in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Very happy to see you once again. And he brings his tagline this evening along with that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. That means he's a member of the channel with that icon next to his name. So thank you so much for that. He brings excuse me, he brings me his tagline, says, good evening. Check out XRPM. I'm not XRP. I don't know what M is. 3% a month. I'm testing it. Let me know exactly what you're referring to. I love testing because I'm doing the earn 8% a week testing right now. The first week, I told you guys I put in $108. It gave out $8.64. But again, I can't make rhyme or reason of why they're doing this. So it's high risk, high rewards, potentially Ponzi, whatever. But they paid out, and then I find out that you can only withdraw when you have $100 or more. So since I only have $8.64, I cannot withdraw that and compound it. And that's going to take me, let's see, 12 is 96. So yeah, it's going to take 13 weeks for my money, 12 and a half, but 13 weeks for my money to double at the present rate. That's 3 months and a week. That's a long time. So I may deposit some more, but I don't know what XRP and M is, but I need to find out. All right. 3% a month is still 36% a year. So again, that's cool. From Amplify. See, I don't know Amplify. All right. I'm going to go look this up. Is this amplify.com or no? That's Perfect Domain. So maybe I'm misspelling it. I see amp. Oh, maybe I misspelled it. Hold on a second. Let me go look at this. No, I did spell it APLIFY. Amplify. Yeah, that's how I spelled it. That's not amplify.com, but that doesn't mean anything. Um, I'll just do it this way. I'll just put in what you said. Maybe that'll do it for me. All right. Let's go look. Amplify ETFs. Oh, okay. There you go. XRPM Solano SOLM designed to generate a target 3% monthly income, 36% annually. These funds use a covered call strategy. Oh, where have we heard this before? This is like Yieldmax ETFs. Selling weekly out of the money options on crypto exposure to generate high income while allowing for, and then there's numbers, which is bizarre. Exposure maintains 40 to 70% unhedged for potential, though not direct crypto. 0.75 expense ratio. High volatility, potential for significant losses, negative 22% in February 2026. Yikes. Okay, so wait. That's a ETF. That means that's a stock. Hold on a second. We got to go look it up real quick. Then we'll get back to the stock market trading. But here's the funny part. If you could trade this stock, if it's going up and down like that, that would be awfully interesting. All right. I'm going to do something else. $91 at the moment. Okay, let's go look at the last 1 month. Let's go see what we got here. Okay, it says 1 month we're negative 3.74%. That would be the stock price. And if the stock price goes down 3.74%, that's going to outweigh the 3% that you earn. Um, that's not good. It's not good at all. Yeah, it was 15 roughly it was 1549 and we're down to 1491. Then it went back up to 16, then it's been slowly downward. It's been doing something in the stock market. It's doing this. Its teeth, it goes back up, goes down, goes back up, goes down, but it keeps going down. It's trending down. If somebody was actually doing this on a stock trade, they would be making a killing because it's going down and then going back up and then going back down even further than before, but it still goes back up. And now it's going back upward trend. But this is a long one this time, not short like the others. So again, I caution everybody with these type of covered call strategies. Yes, they give out nice dividends, but the point is your stock price is a problematic. So I'll give you guys a perfect example. Well, I guess I could use it. Let me see. So let's say you entered at $15.50 and stop sharing. Oh, good. So we can share now. Good. All right. So guess we can't share. That's not funny. What's happening? Stop sharing. No, I want to show this screen. All right. I was going to take off the Candlestick Trading Bible and then we'll get back to this. All right. Let me get this off. So I'm going to give you guys an example since we're talking about this. Might as well. This is with Yomax ETFs. This is with a bunch who do covered calls. Um, so once we do this, okay, EV place. Everybody else, stay tuned. Make sure you smash that like button. But this is for covered calls. Remember, covered calls, this is a strategy that came out like over 2 years ago. Yomax ETFs was one of them. There's several other companies now that do this. But the point is the stock price deteriorates pretty high, pretty fast. And that's why I'm about to show you this right here, just to give an example of what has happened just in the last month. So you guys can understand exactly what I'm referring to. XRPM is on Robinhood. It's long term. Yeah, it's like Yomax. It's using covered calls, which means they're going to give out a lot of dividends, but the stock price is going to suffer traditionally because of it. But I just want to caution everybody, even if they want to do it, you got to caution everybody about it, right? So here's what we're going to do. Let me get some calculations ready. Let me get on the screen first of all. Okay, so here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just use $15.50. Let's just say I bought that a month ago. All right, on February 11th. Okay. And let's say I bought 100 shares. Okay. So we'll keep everything relatively small and we'll say we bought 100 shares times 1550. All right. So that's $1,550. Now, they gave us, was it 3.7% or was it 3%? We'll just say it was 3.7. It doesn't really matter what it is. But I'll say, okay, 1550, and I'll just times it by 3.7%. That didn't work, did it? 1550 times 3.7. We'll use this. Even if it's higher, it doesn't really matter. Okay, here's what my dividend is going to be $57.35. All right, for the month. All right, now, or actually, that's more than 3%. But anyhow, I gave 3.7, so it doesn't matter. We're over. That's not the point. The point is this: the stock price today, after hours, is $15. So that means we are down to $1,500 for our portfolio on this. And that means we would be even or less because I did zero point 0.7, which gave us a $7.35 difference. All right. So that's where the problem comes in, is that the downward trend that you see on this screen, this little downward trend here is tradable. Just so you guys understand. If you knew how to do stock market trading and you could actually trade this, which I do not know, but you probably can, you could have taken advantage over all this time. Not one day, but you can see by the trend lines, this is going down. And so some people would swing trade daily or whatever, and you could have started 3 weeks ago. I guess you could do it. I've never done anything that long, but I don't even know how long you can do one. But the point is, each time this goes down, in fact, why don't I just go to a 5 day so we can see? See, this right here was opportunity, that far drop. This right here, okay, consolidation. This here, all of a sudden, you start seeing up, down, depending on candles. Now, all of a sudden, this was potential right here again. And then this plateaued. There was potential again for this drop. There's potential again. So you can see the volatility in the last 5 days, right? Now it consolidates, drops down. There's a trend. You could be trading each direction, and these are significant too. It's not like they're just barely moving. This is crazy when you look at these charts. This is crazy. But that's in the last 5 days. Now, if we just go like, let's say today, look at this. Look at 1458 up to 15. So potential, that was a quick upwards projection there. Then you can see sliding down slowly during the day. But now, this right here, at after hours, it looks like all of a sudden that was opportunity once again. Incredible. And then once again, opportunity 1534 down to 15. So again, doesn't have to be Microsoft, Nvidia if you're going to start trading stocks. So those are the type of things that are pretty cool. All right, let's go. XRP, let's see. EV Play says this long term went down with XRP drop, but in my opinion, it's the bottom. The problem is the stock price is going to depreciate over time. So The question is your overall bankroll going to be in jeopardy because the stock price is going to drop when you're holding shares? Because the shares would have to stay stable or go up in order to make the 3% a month a range. And the fact that we lost, what was that? We lost, where is it at? Let me go find it. Oh, no, I have to go back and move screens around. Here we go. So we did 1 month, and 1 month we lost 3.74%. So that 3.74% that we lost, which was $57, right? So now, but my portfolio is the 100 shares is only worth 1,500. I paid 1,550, but it's 1,500. And now my portfolio is saying 1493. And so you gave me 3%, which is all right, but 3% for the 100 shares of stock, okay. So again, we're going to stay about even. That's the risk we're going to take. And next month, if it drops another 3.74% and they give you 3%, you can see it. And the stock price, instead of it being 1490, 1500, it's down to 1425 or something, right? So now your stock is 1425. And in the last 2 months, they gave you 100, 114, let's say. All right. So this is what we're talking about: high risk, high rewards. So uh, almost like getting nowhere. I'd rather be stable and get your 3% or 2% or 1% than stock price doing this volatility. But again, stock market trading is what we're talking about. It's heaven. And if you could trade this is heaven too. Just watching all this is crazy. I love it. But good luck with that EV place. I just wanted to go over it. So we're going to get back into it. Shall we share this tab instead? If this works, how come this stuff doesn't work? Why doesn't this ever work? Let's go. Let's go see. No, it doesn't work. We're getting back to this candlestick trading Bible right now. Let's go. Hold on. Let me go look at something right now. I saw something. EV place. Here we go. Here we go. Yield Max, like PLTY, started to buy bonds at 0%, and that's what killed it. Exactly. Yeah, but you know what it was. We talked about it before because we got bailed. We bailed out at a certain level because you can see the writing on the wall. Because whenever the economy's going up, that's first of all not a good thing for these covered calls, at least for the Yomax ETF funds. I don't know about the XRPM. And so that was a problematic in itself. And when it starts dropping like this, if we have 300-point drops, 1,000-point drops, and things of this nature on the stock market, then there's going to be drops in the crypto. This affects everything. 40% based on XRP, currently XR at $1.38. That's low. Yeah, XRP has always been this pie in the sky thing. I thought it was going to jump back up. It was, it was over $2 at one point. But then Bitcoin and crypto started going down. XRP, people started realizing, like I always said, there's a difference between Ripple and XRP. They've always tied those together, but they're not together. So we'll see what ends up happening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Candlestick Trading Bible, part one. Let's go. Although this video is not part one. So tell your friends. This is how it starts. You go to stopstrugglingnow.com. You can go get the PDF, study on your own terms. It's that simple. All right. They'll tell you the story. They'll give you a history. They'll talk all about it, right? 167 pages. I told you it's 168 total. Candlestick Trading Bible is a system. So once you understand the market patterns, the candlestick patterns, that could help you. But just like any pattern, it's percentage. How many times does it happen after that versus how many times it happens a different way? But you have to use several factors in order to figure out which way you're going to trade this particular stock. But see how they started off basic, rudimentary. Even a kid can do this. That's right, parents, get your kids out there to do this. This is very simple, especially for minds that aren't tainted. They will know no other way. They retain it, and then they just need to see a chart. They just need to see something in action, a demo account, right? That would be awesome. But again, I use CoinX because they're outside the United States. Let's just call it what it is. I'm anti tracking. That's basically what it is. I'm anti tracking. They're outside the United States. So, yes, I use a regulated exchange in the United States. Of course, most people would using their crypto. And then you send it to CoinX and they add it to your account. And yes, they do have a demo account. So, you don't have to send money first. You can just use the link in the chat room to download the software or get not the software, your broker account. Get your broker account. All right. It's that simple. Get your broker account with CoinX. They use MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5. All the stuff is there. Those are not so nuanced. You got to learn a little learning curve for all the newbies. A lot of people, they don't need it. But I like them because they use crypto. You load the crypto to them, then they fund your account all within the same day because it's crypto. And then any profits you have, you get to remove it via crypto. Now, who says it has to go back to a regulated crypto wallet? I say it doesn't, because it doesn't. You can send it to any crypto account you want to. And their crypto account is not the same crypto account that you use to deposit. So again, they use a different crypto account when they send you back wherever you tell them to send it to. All right. So that leads us to the next thing. I might as well just show the Bankers card. They still have not come online from the change from Visa to MasterCard, but the back office still works. If I want to send you money or you send me money, all you need is my email address and I can send you money. And you could use your online digital card that everybody has in their account. So you could still pay using your digital card online as long as you know your digital card number, which you will. So if we're going to talk Bankus, which that wasn't on my mind, but it just goes hand in hand with how I'm operating. So now you go with Bankus. And Bankus on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Friday and Sundays. Tuesdays and Thursdays, they have a call, a Zoom call. So people who are new, you can go study. All I ask of you is to use the link to download the Bankus app because it's a referral link. That's it. I'm not asking you to do anything else, even though if you want one of these, you got to buy one. $35 for this plastic card that has the little logo on it, tap feature. All right. That's $35 plus $15 shipping, or you get the $85 metal card that does not have the tap feature and it's $15 shipping. So either it's $50 for the plastic with shipping or $100 with the metal card. That includes shipping. All right. It usually comes 2 to 4 weeks, depending on what country you're in. Not all countries have the United States Postal Service at their disposal. In the US, you usually get it 2 to 3 weeks, just so you know. So please use the link. The Zoom call information is there, 2 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tomorrow is Thursday. Then you can ask questions and they go over. Then they have training, like one today on Wednesday. They'll probably have another one on Friday or Saturday, and they usually have one on Sunday for training for everybody that's signed up and may have questions. There is one question we still have because they used to be a crypto Visa card. They've changed to crypto MasterCard. Changing over in their system has taken a while. So this is why I just want you to use the link to download the software. That's it. And if you want to buy a card, so be it. But you cannot deposit, or you can deposit, but you can't use the card right now. That's all I'm going to say, because they're doing maintenance. And it's been that way. Let's call it 3 months. Will be the 15th of the month. I ordered my card in December. I got my card around the 12th through the 14th of January. That's when it came in the mail. And then it went to maintenance. So my card is activated, but I can't use it. Or is I don't even remember if I activated it. All I know is my digital card online on the app, that's activated. So I can do orders if I send crypto there and I want to use it. That's the kicker. I don't really want to use it, right? But I do want the card just in case, because I can withdraw at the ATM machine. I cannot go to a bank and get a cash advance because there's no name on it. It's a true black card. Like, I love that. So, no name, no nothing. It's beautiful. So, anyhow, that's where we're going. So, here is the Candlestick Trading Bible that you see on the screen. I'm going to keep going down here. Let's see if I can we move this? See how simple they're starting this for everybody. Even if you're seasoned, sometimes I was not. I started from scratch, so I don't know anything about trading. 5 months ago, now 6 months ago, started the journey. And quite frankly, due to this volatility, success has been easier, I believe, because when you see candles and you understand what's happening with news and bombings, and then all of a sudden oil price is going to go up. Well, where do you get that oil signals, right? SR S1, right? So you're sitting there like, wait, where can I get in on the trades for oil? Because I know oil's going up because they just said they're closing the Strait of Hormuz. They said they're going to be bombing refineries. And sure enough, they did it. What's happening? And it just went 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 105, 110, 115. All of that was win, win, win. So now all of a sudden somebody says, well, we're going to talk. We're going to make sure everything is fine. Everything's going to be safe. I'm going to tap our strategic oil wells so we don't have to worry about oil, and we're going to make deals with other countries. So all of a sudden, 110, 100, 90, 80. Another opportunity to make money, ladies and gentlemen. It's that simple. But that's because of the volatility right now. There's not this hyper volatility that often where you are have several different things that you can invest in, where prices are going to go up and down at a fast pace. So just keep that in mind. You're watching the parade go by if you're not in the game, but at least you better learn before you get in the game. And the Candlestick Trading Bible, as I keep scrolling through it, shows you exactly from beginner status, not even knowing what a candle is. Just like me, I never understood what the candles meant. My friends were telling me, Eric, here, look. And I'm like, look at what? I see green candle. I see the red candle. I see you putting lines on a screen, but I don't know why. I said, I don't even know what any of this means. Well, you should learn how to trade. I'm like, okay, show me. And again, I didn't know what they're doing, quite frankly. They go, I entered a trade. And I'm like, I didn't see you enter anything. What are you doing? What are you talking about? And then they start moving their mouse around and showing me things. And I'm looking like, I don't even know what you did. Because little did I know, they pushed a little where the cursor was, they pushed something, a button to buy. Well, I'm thinking like a like I'm thinking analytically, like when I buy something, I enter in, or somebody sends me the amount, or I enter in an amount, like in an ATM, I enter the amount, or if I'm the cashier, the thing pops up and I hit OK or whatever, right? I'm thinking enter something. No, they hit apparently the buy because I didn't know that the lot sizes was already in. So I'm looking like at them like, what did you buy? I didn't see you do anything. And I'm like, so they already have their lot sizes, everything already in. So all they had to do was hit buy. And they already knew that enters the trade. But I didn't know that. I'm like, what do you mean you entered the trade? I don't see anything. So you have to understand there's several different ways you can trade. Make sure it fits you. Long shadows, look at this, candlestick patterns. It keeps going on and on, and they explain everything. And it's best if you actually look while you're doing this. You can go look at the stock market charts and you'll see what they're describing, and then you can understand and start understanding what's going on. And then the demo account helps you to at least put in play money and then play with the buttons and figure out how to put lines on the screen, how you can get some of these indicators and things of this nature, add them and play around with what you feel comfortable with. All right. So here's a example, bearish engulfing bar, right? And look what they're doing. And then normally it says goes down. So you should be able to take advantage. I mean, there's patterns, but it's not 100%. But you have to feel confident. And that's also why you don't have to trade all the time. You could say, I don't feel comfortable with this. It looks like, okay, it might, maybe, but that doesn't mean you have to enter the trade. You should only enter the trade when you're comfortable with whatever you feel is set up for you to make that trade, whether it's buying or selling. Doesn't matter. Buying is you're going up, selling means you're expecting to go down. It's that simple. Let me know what you guys think out here. I want to know. I know we have traders in the house, and I want you guys to win. That's the bottom line. So we'll be making this a short video, and I just want everybody to know the candlestick trading Bibles down below in the description box, or you can go to stopstrugglingnow.com, and at the top on the menu, you can get it there. There's a PDF, so it's not just for me. Share it with your friends, family, loved ones. But again, people that are basically the lost generation is what I'm calling them, 30 years old and under. You should learn how to trade. Seriously, you should do that because the odds of there being a job that you can work for 25 years and get retirement is awfully slim, especially with artificial intelligence already here. That's creating havoc. So don't get caught. Because again, we can go back 50, 60, 70 years. At that particular time, everybody could be in technology. Everybody could be part of technology, computers, that and understanding the mathematics or computers in itself. That was a big industry. And it just kept going and going, even through the dot com bubble. But now, because of artificial intelligence, you ask a question and now things can come back in less than a minute. Computations, calculations, a staff needing to put together info is not a thing. It's over. It's going to be over this time in about a year and a half. It's over. So now you're going to have to deal with what, if you don't have one of those high paying jobs that would be in that field, then what type of jobs would you have? And that's where the problem's going to come in. And that's why we just don't talk mess around here. We give you the facts. When you have a situation like right now, 40 years old, all time high for people to buy a home for first time buyers. This is a record. That's why I call it the lost generation, because imagine having to wait to be 40 years old before you can buy a house. That is insane. You're already 10 to 15 years into a cycle, and most people are going to have a 30-year mortgage, which now means 70 years old. Not where you bought a home at 25 to 30, and then in 10 to 15 years, by the way, the average uh, time a person stays in their home in the United States is only 7 years. You know why? Because we have volatility. They purposely make the housing prices increase. So via the loan. So the problem with all of that is you could have been 25, 30, bought a house for I'm trying to think of what the prices would be at the end of the 90s. Let's call it 120,000. And then you're 35 and all of a sudden it's 2005, 6 and 7 and they're telling you that house you bought for 125, 150 grand is worth 400. You know what people did. They said sell. I'll let you 300 plus $1,000 of equity. That's what people did. They said sell. And then the great migration started happening because people were like, well, I can sell my house for 400 grand. I have almost, well, it's 10 years of payments, so I only owe 100. So I have 300, but I can move to Texas. I can move to Florida and I can buy a big house and it's only 150 grand and I can pocket the rest of the money. I can move to Georgia, Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, all these places. If you live on the West Coast or up north, your home prices. So people were like, see you later. Pocketing the money, making investments, two, $300,000 back 30 years ago. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. 20 years ago. Come on. Especially when Apple was $4, $5. $6 when Nvidia was $3 or $4 or $5, when Microsoft was about $15, $10, when Tesla was $3, $2. Can you imagine those people? They're making out like bandits. All they had to do was put in like $1,000 across four or five of them together, all together. $3, $2. All they needed was a few hundred shares of each one. Apple split like three times. Tesla split like three times. Both of their stock prices, including Nvidia's, went to over $1,000 per share. So those people, we get to win. But now those jobs that give you high wages are getting less and less and less. And that's why we have 40-year-olds, first time home buyers. This is catastrophic, by the way. So let's keep it moving. Candlestick Trading Bible. Look at this. They do this bullish. They go on the downside. They show you illustrations. So what more can you ask for? All right. Get the Trading Bible. Get in the game, ladies and gentlemen. At least if you don't want to get in the game, study. I gave you the CoinX. There's no reason they have a dummy account so you can actually start looking at the markets and seeing the candlesticks and studying this and going through it. All right. It's that simple. I don't want you guys to be out here with your pants down. All right. If anybody has anything else they want to say, please let it be known now because I'm going to cut this video off pretty shortly in about the next 5 minutes. So if you have any questions, you guys know the chat room's always open. All right. So let me know and I'll keep going down this line. Okay. Let's go. So I'm just going to move quickly. Look, they have names. I couldn't even believe this. I was like, when I got to this page and I saw this doji candlestick pattern, I was like, are you kidding me right now? I got to remember names. I was like, what? Hold on. I'm only on page 20. I got another 160 pages to go. That's all that was in my mind when I saw this. I was like, oh my God. Don't even tell me they got names for candlestick patterns. Now I'm going to deal with, okay, do I have to remember these names? What was going on in my head. Then I was like, I'm not going to remember these names. Because remember, they already started with this engulfing bar, say engulfing bar thing. And so I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm thinking, okay, they're telling me about this engulfing bar. But then when I got down to this doji thing, I was like, Wait, they're starting to have names. Something. I guess I better keep a note of the doji just in case this comes into. But then I realized I should just look at this candlestick. So I don't remember the name of this. I just know what this candlestick is. And they're both fighting. Just so you guys know, the buyers and sellers are fighting for supremacy. So when buyers are winning, it goes up. When sellers are winning, it goes down. And selling means less people are buying or more people are selling. More people buy, it goes higher. Less people buy, it goes lower until it doesn't, which is the white candle. All of a sudden, there was a hiccup. But again, for the most part, it was on this trend going down. So this is for this is buyer supremacy. Buyers that's buying and short sellers. They're going at it. So it does this doji candlestick. So they talk about it. So you get an understanding of how it goes. Then look, I come here and I'm like, no, dragonfly doji, come on, please. Bullish candlestick, as they say, right? So the bullish candlestick is because it tops up here, right? Long tail goes up. So that means it did up, back up, boom, opening and closing price. But in the meantime, it went down here. Sellers were rejoicing when it was dropping, and all of a sudden, in the same trade action, it goes back up. That's bullish because now there were so many buyers to pull it back up. That's why they call it the bullish candlestick, is this dragonfly doji pattern, right? So you understand. So they're using an example. And I've actually looked at this example, and oftentimes this does come up, but it doesn't do this, just so you know. I mean, you got to study this. So look at the reverse going back down, right? And look, it didn't go down because it went up and then came back down, right? Still kept trending a little north. So again, this is the things you need. Look at this gravestone doji, which is the opposite. Okay, this is crazy. It's kind of cool. It's kind of fun, but at the same time, gravestone doji, they give you an examples. This is why you need the candlestick trading Bible if you never have traded, and even if you have traded, it's probably good to have information, right? Okay, let me know what you guys think. I'm going to wrap this up. It's only an hour. Everybody on podcast, make sure you guys go to stopstrugglingnow.com if you want the Candlestick Trading Bible just to get in the game, because you can take 6 months, a year, 2 years to get knowledge and understanding and feel comfortable with using real money. Because real money, a lot of people have pressure. Okay. People get pressurized with real money. That's all there is to it. There's no way around it. Just think about when you go to the gambling, to the casino, and that's the number one thing, right? You use real money. All of a sudden, you're making decisions, and oftentimes irrational decisions. If your object is to win money, a lot of people just say, I'm going to lose money. I have $1,000 to lose. So I'll just lose $1,000. So congratulations. The casinos get to build towers for people like you. Then there's some other people that roll in and say, I'm trying to actually win. So they study the game and they understand their odds, their real odds of winning when they're in certain positions or certain games that they're going to be in. And so they study to increase their odds of winning, which would make sense, right? If you're trying to win money or earn money, the more you know the advantages or disadvantages that you have, then you can figure out a way to go around, through, under, or over. Your choice. As this says, F average, you want to be legendary, you always have to study, no matter what. All right. So if somebody's out here telling you, just, I'll just pay me some money, I'll send you this, pay me this, I'll help you trade, pay me. Okay. You should learn how to do it on your own before you do something else, because I'll call it a victim, but I'm not going to call it that I'm a victim. But what happened is, a friend of mine, we had auto trading bot for gold, XAU, USD. The first time we use it, it's golden. I can't remember the numbers right now. We have videos about it, but the point is, it could have been $800 while I sleep, because you turned on the bot. Go to sleep. Get up in the morning. It traded overnight in the London Stock Exchange and then the beginning of the US Stock Exchange. So it was $800, I believe, was one of the wins. And then the next night it was like $300 or $400, 300, I believe. So it was like $1,100. Then it went to 15, I think, ultimately. Then all of a sudden, woke up, and all of a sudden, it's like negative. It's like, and I shouldn't say negative, but it is because we always started with $1,000. So it was something along that line where all of a sudden, hold on, I don't know how to trade because I didn't know anything about the candlestick trading Bible. I was just shortcutting. I was saying, oh, there's a bot, let's go. Paid for the bot. Didn't know what it was doing. All I know is there was profit for the first 2 or 3 times that we used it. Then all of a sudden, there was an L. And I was like, wait, okay, I can't win them all, but I'm pretty sure. And all of a sudden, things started changing. I started studying because we had a member of the channel say, you should learn how to trade officially. Don't use one of those things. So I said, you know what? He's right. Because I actually don't know what the bot's really doing. So I figured I better learn what it's actually doing and why it lost money this particular time. Then I realized after I started studying the trading Bible, I was like, oh my gosh, when the stock market goes up, that is not good for this trading bot. So when we were winning, I didn't realize overnight the stock market was trending down. So that's why the bot was basically trending a certain way and it was down. So I just took the profits and ran. I didn't realize it until L started appearing. And then I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go with $200 per night and stay up and watch it for an hour or two. And so one time, in less than 30 minutes, it was like $300 profit. So I was just like, oh, close this all out. Take the 300. Because if you start thinking about it, $300 4 or 5 days a week, why would you bitch about making that 4 or 5 grand a month? Right? Especially if it's semi automated. So I'm thinking, oh, that'll be good. Yeah, well, that didn't go too well afterwards because afterwards, the bot, once again, whenever I turned it on, I started realizing it started losing. So then I had to go with, I better learn this thing. I don't even want to use the bot. But then I figured I could use the bot because now I know if the stock market's trending down, I cut on the bot. Simple, because now I know what it's doing. That is the advantage now because the bot gives you something. I cannot do 100 trades in 2 or 3 minutes. That's the thing the bot does. It enters trades, 100 trades within 2 or 3 minutes, maybe even less than that. And it hedges too. It does a bunch of trades in less than a few, 2 or 3 minutes. That's it. So it's beautiful to watch. But now that I know what it's doing, I use it to enhance the trading because it can get me entered into positions way faster instead of me manually doing it. So we get win-wins. That's what I have done. So just so you guys understand, this gets deeper because as I felt more comfortable for what I'm doing, I start getting a little deeper and deeper into it. It's that simple. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank everybody for being here. Make sure on the way out, no matter what you do, share the video, share the Candlestick Trading Bible. Tell people, let them know they are not safe out here. You're not safe. You're not getting health care. It's going to be reduced. Your taxes are going to keep going up. The groceries are going to keep going up. Everything as you know it is going to keep going up because you, American taxpayers, are subsidizing the world. The 40 billion that went to Argentina, that's your taxpayer money. The 10 million a week that goes to Israel, that is your taxpayer money. Okay? You guys understand what's happening out here? We're overdoing, I don't know what, it's a war. You understand it's $1 billion a day? Taxpayers? Where do you think this money is going to come from? You know these data centers they're building and they get tax cut, tax breaks? Where do you think this money's coming from? Who they're not paying the tax, you are, or the citizens in that county or city will be subsidizing them. We're subsidizing the world. And apparently it's getting out of hand. So everything's going to go up. Our labor force is in disarray. Transportation businesses are out of business. 3,500 of them out of business. How about 35,000 transportation companies out of business because of tariffs? Right. Less shipping. Amazon, UPS laying off 40, 45 to 50,000 people. Less packages being shipped, delivered. Groceries, you're having a war on Latino labor and Latinos, period. Now, all of a sudden, your labor forces are gone in several key areas like agriculture and housing. Now, what? It's pretty simple. Your house is going to be built cheaper, but it's going to cost you more money. Brilliant. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. You better learn how to trade yourself. That's all I can tell you. You better do the tenants, 775 credit score. I gave you the smart credit in the chat room. Everybody on replay, make sure you hit that live replay, hit the top comment, and scroll left. And there should be something that comes up live replay. Do you want us to do something? Cut it on now. Tap it. All right. And then you'll have the links. Everybody else down below in the description box on several different platforms, you will find the links to everything we talked about this evening. So get yourself together, ladies and gentlemen. It's only going to get worse after all of this blows over because less jobs are going to be available, lower wage jobs, and you won't have anything to do if you don't have a skill or a trade on your resume. And that trade or skill should be rehab, fixing up things. That would be good, but there's only going to be so many places that you're going to be having the clientele. Cities. And so a bunch of cities are going to have the same type of plumbers, the carpenters, the heating and AC guys, the guys that fix solar panels, the guys that cut down trees, all of these things. It's going to be crazy. But once again, please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why it's only going to get harder. Don't kid yourself. So therefore, you better figure out something right now. The sooner, the better. Get another niche, get an extra way to make money on your own, not through a company, not through social media where they can cut you off like they cut me off before here at the SSN Nation. You need to do your own thing. Okay? It's that simple. All right. I'll see you guys on Friday night. Remember, Friday nights are always story night. Financial Friday night, story night. You never know what stories I'm going to talk about. There's always a few good stories. In fact, I'll give you guys one right now. I'll give you a story right now that a friend of mine, we were talking, and we were talking about when we were in Sacramento, and this is decades ago. All right. And we were talking about how we used to hang out and certain things would happen, but we're talking about nightclubs and things like this. And he's like, yeah, remember that new nightclub that they opened? And it was called Confetti's in Sacramento. And I said, yeah, yeah, they had the pool tables, they had all this. And he was talking about the Kings came to town in Sacramento back in the day. And he's like, yeah, remember we used to hang out and shoot with these guys and do all this, and played a little basketball in case you're new here. So the point is, so I said, you won't believe what happened one night. And I'll just give you generals, but we got in a little altercation with one of the Kings basketball players. And the altercation led to the next day there was a game. And then we hear that the person is on the injured reserve list. They're not going to be playing for the next 3 days. It was crazy. And what actually happened was crazy too. But that is part of the story. I won't go any further. Friday nights, you got to come back, ladies and gentlemen. It's story night. We got tons of them. So, anyhow, we'll talk then. I appreciate you being here. And with all that said, no matter what you do out here, keep your head up, keep moving. And I'm out.